Hello and welcome to the Mockingbird Show. Today I'll be doing a book reading session for you, and I've selected two very interesting chapters. One from part 2 of the book, which talks about positive discipline, gentle but firm boundaries, and the other I've selected from part 3 of the book. And this part 3 is about navigating behaviors and emotions, and here I would be talking about when your toddler isn't talking, what can you do? So watch till the end because I'll be sharing some interesting insights on speech delay of children in the early childhood years that nowadays parents are frequently facing, and more so post-pandemic. And also the first chapter that I'll be reading today is Positive Discipline, Gentle but Firm Boundaries, which is again I feel a very important thing for parents to instill positive behavior and discipline in children right from the start. So let's begin. Discipline doesn't mean punishment, it means teaching. For young children, especially in the tender years between birth to age 5, discipline must be developmentally appropriate, gentle and respectful. Children are not miniature adults. They are learning how to manage their emotions, bodies, and relationships. Positive discipline helps guide them, not control them, towards self-awareness, empathy, and responsibility. So, what is a positive disciplinary approach that we can take? And that is without being harsh, without being permissive, And here the parent needs to actually form a connection before correction. So generally as young parents, we are correcting our children, telling them this is the right thing, this is not the right thing, but it is more about forming the connection with the child. Mutual respect should be developed, and then the correction process should start. Teaching children skills, not enforcing fear, and encouraging self-regulation. So in Tender Petals, we already do a lot of work related to understanding and labeling one's feelings and all of it, the social-emotional development of the child. But as a parent also, you need to encourage self-regulation in the child. So looking into the brain inside, the prefrontal cortex, which manages impulse control and decision making, is still developing. Therefore, tantrums and all of these are normal phases of a child, So what can we do in order to instill positive discipline? One is connect before you correct. Set clear expectations. So we need to tell our children what we expect out of them, and then look whether they are doing the thing in that manner, Then offer choices without limits, use logical consequences. So all of this actually, helps children to understand why a parent is telling them not to do certain things. Say if we tell them that do not, give too much time to the screen, we should also explain them the reason why. And this gives them the understanding, the logical consequence of the action. So time in versus time out, acknowledge feelings first, and long-term benefits of positive discipline. I have mentioned a few of the long-term benefits, but I wouldn't be reading out everything to you because I want you to have a copy of this book, The First 5 Years, Decoding Childhood, Empowering Parenthood, which is my parenting handbook, which was released last year. And we have really seen a lot of positive feedback from parents who have read this book. And so I keep doing my book reading sessions with my viewers and giving them an insight into the chapters that I have covered in this, the topics which I feel are very relevant for young parents to understand their child in the early childhood years. Now moving on to the next chapter of this book. From part 3, I said that I'll be reading out when your toddler isn't talking, what you can do. Language development is one of the most exciting parts of early childhood. Most babies begin cooing by 6 weeks, babbling by 6 months, uttering their first word between 10 to 15 months. By age 2, many toddlers start combining 2 to 4 words to form simple sentences. But what happens when your child doesn't follow this expected timeline? It can be deeply concerning for parents to find their 2 years old not talking or only saying a few words. While it's important not to panic, it is equally essential to observe, reflect, and act early. So we have seen in our schools, when parents come for admission, their prime concern is that the child is 2 years old or maybe a little more, but they are not, he or she is not talking. So that we have seen more in the post-pandemic period, and probably it is because during the pandemic times the children who were born were more restricted to their houses. There were too much of screen time, and as a result communication within the family and outside of it was reduced. As a result, the child did not develop the necessary language skills at that time. So that can be a major reason, because we have seen that when these children come to school after 6-7 months, they are quite fluent in how they speak and they pick up a lot of words. There's a lot of vocabulary development. So I feel that this may be a reason for many of the children. But also we need to understand speech delay, so why it happens, and some milestones are given here as well, and the possible causes are mentioned, like limited verbal interaction, screen time overload, hearing issues, developmental delays. So we need to actually look into many factors that come into play when it is about language and speech development of the child. So what can we do in order to enhance the skill? Talk a lot, read together, limit screen time, sing song and rhymes, avoid pressure of comparison, be face to face, encourage gesture and sound imitation, and ask when you need help. So here I've mentioned all of this where this interaction, the day-to-day interaction between the parent and the child is very important for speech development of the child. And this interaction, I feel, is highly missing in today's families because of the screen time, and so much so that nowadays this communication is very, very rare, and everybody is in their own screen. So that in order to break that, we need to set some new patterns. We need to shift our perspective. We have to look into speech development not as a simple process that will happen, but something where we need to put a little more attention, because we are talking less nowadays. Even the youngsters, even the teenagers, they're not talking so much. They're mostly into the screen, and they're not even saying full sentences. They're either answering in a yeah, yes, no, and that is where the speech is getting reduced. Now look at a little child who is just learning speech and who is just learning new words. If the child is not talked to, if the child is not listening to more conversation in and around, how do you think the child would develop speech? Also, there are many other reasons for speech delay. There's a lot of factors that come into play. We can also involve the child in speech therapy if there is an added boost that is required. So again, that goes under diagnosis. You can show the doctor, but generally every speech therapist is sending the child to a preschool. Now we get the answer there and then. Why is he or she sending the child to a preschool? Because here there will be communication. Here the teacher will be talking to the child, the peers will be talking to the child, everybody, they are communicating. So that is the crux. So I would want you to read this chapter from this book, and thank you so much for joining me today in the Mockingbird Show. Until next week, when I come up with another important topic about child development. And if you have not yet liked or subscribed to the channel, please do so. Please stay connected, and also you can write to me certain issues that you are facing with your child. Please feel free to inbox me, or you can WhatsApp me in 98640 39655. I would be most happy to help in whatever possible ways. And I'm really, really happy, to present a few chapters from this book on a monthly basis. I've been doing this since the book was launched, and I have covered a couple of chapters. If you have not seen those, the links are all in the YouTube channel. You can have a look at the videos and also share it with your friends and family, with those who may be interested. This will really encourage me to do more and to come up with more and more interesting topics in my coming sessions of this podcast. Thank you so much for staying connected. Have a great weekend.